Good afternoon, everyone. Gabe Velazquez here with you, transparenttrading-solutions.com for a Friday, 15 September. Hope everybody had a good trading week. Again, we're having a class coming up on Thursday, coming up here at 7 Pacific on options, how we can trade options with a smaller account and take advantage of some of the big stock moves that we're seeing. Again, if you're struggling, as you know, a lot of these futures markets just been chopping, not lots of volatility. We did have actually a nice move today, but they are not coming every day. It's been a bit of a challenge if you're not patient and you don't have the discipline. Anybody telling you they're making a lot of money trading futures, you know how I feel about that. So just be careful out there. Yeah, I mean, you have to be super patient in this market and wait for your spots. But if you're not patient, you're probably having a little bit of an issues. The beauty about options, again, as I like to talk about, is that you do have, thousands of stocks, but there are a few, and there's always something going on, with earnings and so forth. So if you want to learn about that, sign up for the class that's coming up this Thursday. There's a link below. You can register there. Okay. All right. Let's get right into it for the week. Let's start with our charts here and go from there. Let's start with the S&P. We had a really nice move off of the S&P contract specific, which I mentioned the other day that I've been kind of using during rollover. So we came right up into this level here last night. You can see that it hit that level perfectly and then sold off about, let's see, what was it? The entry was roughly 45.65. So it hit pretty nicely. We actually did catch some of these movements here on the options market. This one in particular, I was waiting for the VIX to get down to 12, but we did catch a move in oil. I'll talk about that in a minute. We're kind of just holding right along here. Clearly now this 44.92 becomes a very important level going into next week with the Fed and so forth. But generally, again, very, very choppy. We have one big day of move and then chop. Another day, lots of chop. And, you can see that's been, again, unless you actually pick your spots, we've been actually doing pretty nicely trying to, catch some of these moves here, doing it in the SPY. Last week, we actually caught a nice move from here to there and so forth. I think we talked about that the other day. So, but where we finish up the week is literally just in no man's land relative to that low and that high. Next week, we got a Fed meeting. We got a bunch of central banks, and we'll see how this pans out next week. If we finally get to breakout or we continue to chop around here, all predicated on interest rates. I'll get into that in a minute. NASDAQ similarly came up right up against another nice level up here and then sold off. We got this rollover gap to work with, and I'm looking actually at lower prices here. If in fact, we had that rally yesterday and then miserably failed today. All the mega cap stocks were down today. That's part of what happened here. Also had a lot of the semi stocks down as well today. So that dragged everything down. And this was surprising because everybody got kind of anybody that shorted yesterday got whacked, and then today anybody that went long got whacked. So again, you continue to see this back and forth, pretty nice moves, but you got to be super patient. Even this move here ended up to be okay, and then it rallied back up, took that level on, then came back down again. Russell, I've been talking about Dow, just chop as well. Had a nice move today. We got these rollover gaps. I've been focusing on the Russell. I think the Russell down below here is going to be having some, we've got some levels up top here. Basically just range trading now, 1860 to 1890 on the Russell. Pretty nice movement here. So if you're range trading, this is actually not bad. all of it predicated on rates. And what happened today is rates came right back up again. This is the price on the 10-year and the 30-year. You can see it's like the 30-year probably wants to come out down and visit this 118 level. Kind of spiked away from that during the CPI, and then went right to the resistance of 120. So you can see again, very kind of range trading here. The yield, this is what spooked the market today. Yields looks like they're ready to break out above 431. We'll see how that tomorrow, next week with the Fed. And similarly, all the rate markets same. Now, also tracking the rate market was the the Dixie. So the Dixie is right up against, again, coming right up to this 105.5, 16 important level. It's pretty extended. Not shock me in the least if we actually touch this up here and then fall back down again. We actually touched that level right there, pulled back a little bit, and then keep going higher. So whether this continues grinding higher, obviously I do believe it's going to be predicated on what interest rates do. If rates continue going higher, you can see a higher dollar. If, however, rates back down, we'll see the dollar come off a little bit. This is also putting the currencies very, very choppy. We don't need to spend any time here. You can see this pound has just been kind of dribbling lower. We just had rollover, so you're going to get some distortions on the chart, like in this chart here with the Swissy. It's been chopped. Try to move here, went sideways. We were actually long. We got out break even on this right here. Good thing. And then now this is a rollover gap. So now it's had about 100 tick price differential between the September and the December, and that came out here. So now I'm looking at some levels below on the Swissy and the Euro coming in. Next week we got a few central banks announcing, so maybe that gets moving. But you can see even the ComDolls, New Zealand, also range trading, very, very challenged. Again, peso is the one market that perhaps gives us an opportunity coming up here on both sides of this. So keep tracking the peso, and then Canadian also looks like it may want to break out next week. 74.08 is the level on that. Silver, again, now in a chop after these nice moves in silver and gold. Gold actually just, again, been range trading. Silver may be ready, poised for a move. Notice how it held down here at 1919, and it may be ready for a move. Everything else really, oil, we did short oil, got hit on that last night. We were up pretty nicely this morning, hit the level right there. We were up really nicely this morning, came right into that level, and then rallied right back up again. So we'll see if it holds along that area right there. And if not, we're taking a really tiny risk on this trade, so it's not a big deal. Just doing some micros on this. So yeah, some folks did get out with a little profit here. Again, you saw this morning, we had actually a little bit of a kind of an algo hit right there. And it hit right on the button here to that level and rallied right back up again. And we're getting some post-market movement here. So interesting to see. It is extremely extended now and right up against all this right in here. That's kind of why we took this. So there's, we'll see if it wouldn't surprise me if we actually pull back from here. But you never know, with this market. So clearly now the 93.56 comes into play unless there's a kind of a price shock. Nat gas, just same old, just continues to range trade, no follow through on really pretty much anything. You can see just back and forth. We are in an options position in this with the boil, and we need this thing to keep moving here. It seems to be holding this series of lower highs. So if it keeps doing that, maybe eventually it'll break out. I mean, it looked like it was going here, but again, largely just kind of range trading in the nat gas. Grains, not a lot going on there. Looks like soybeans and corn. Corn's actually looks like they're headed lower, which would actually be disinflationary. So you can see, but these are ready for a break here. They've been kind of trading sideways here for the last several weeks now, which is really unusual for the grain markets. Also, you know, in the stock market, we've had Lennar report, we had Oracle. I talked about this in our last on the Tuesday session, but yeah, there's still a bunch of, next week we've got, you know, FedEx. We still have a bunch of earnings coming out. FedEx, there's another home builder coming out. And that's really where the focus has been for us, because that's really where the action is. You know, if you were watching Oracle last Monday, you'd see that thing got hit, and we're getting some probably some pullback areas in some of these semis like AMD, TSM got hit pretty bad today, but they are coming into some pretty decent levels. That's where the options markets come in. So if you're interested in learning how we do that, again, sign up for the class. It's a free class, and we'll go over some strategy on that. Okay. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. Again, next week is the Fed, and we got some other stuff, but the big, obviously the main event is going to be the Fed. And, you know, I think we're probably going to get clearly some more gyrations. Whether we get out of this mess here, this just constant range trading, it still remains to be seen. But you know, again, there's other areas in the market, non-correlated markets that you can focus on when this is just going on like this. Okay. All right. Have a great rest of your, have a good weekend, and I will see you on Tuesday. Okay. Take care.